The demon clan has gone mad? How could they suddenly mobilize a large army to come here? Even the black dragon guards of the demon god emperor are here. Are they planning to break through the barrier at all costs? Just then, an elderly voice came from behind Saint Lingxin. There are only two possibilities for the demon clan to act like this. The first possibility, as you've guessed, is that they intend to give their all and break through our demon driving barrier. If that's the case, let them come. The demon driving barrier has stood for thousands of years, and the assassin temple has thrived for millennia. We can't guarantee that we will withstand the demon clan's full-scale attack, but they will undoubtedly pay an extremely heavy price. Saint Yu, the martial sage, walked slowly to Saint Lingxin's side, and upon seeing him, the nervous expressions of the generals on the city wall visibly eased. Having a 9th-rank expert guarding the city provided great encouragement to the leaders and soldiers. Saint Lingxin didn't bow to his grandfather. At this moment, he was the highest military commander on the city wall, and everything was done for the public good. What about the second possibility? Saint Lingxin asked. Saint Yu replied. The second possibility is that the demon clan has a prominent figure among them. When the demon clan has important matters to negotiate with us, they also put up this kind of display to show their military strength and enhance the likelihood of successful negotiations. Upon hearing his grandfather's words, Saint Lingxin suddenly realized, so, the second possibility seems more likely. Based on the intelligence gathered by our scouts, there is no indication of the demon clan mobilizing for an all-out war. If they really wanted to launch a full-scale, holy war, then the oppression wouldn't be limited to just our demon driving barrier. Saint Yu nodded approvingly and said, correct, that's exactly it. However, we don't know what tricks the demon clan is up to this time. We'll face them head-on when they come. I just wonder who from the demon clan has arrived this time. I estimate that it's at least one of the top 10 demon gods, otherwise, they wouldn't set up such a massive formation. Saint Lingxin inquired, what about the assassin temple? Saint Yu nodded in assurance, rest assured, they are prepared. If the demon clan truly launches a full-scale attack, the assassin temple won't be an easy opponent either. Only now did Saint Lingxin's face truly relax a bit. Now, all we can do is wait. While they were conversing, suddenly, in the far distance behind the demon army's formation, 3 enormous pillars of light shot into the sky. The intense radiance carried a formidable spiritual power. Even though the city wall was quite far away, the sensation was clear. These were the lights of the demon god pillars. The demon clan, who had been relatively silent just moments ago, erupted into thunderous roars the instant those 3 pillars of light appeared. This was the combined might of tens of thousands of demon soldiers. Their simultaneous roar caused the ground of the demon driving barrier to tremble as if there was an earthquake. Even battle-hardened soldiers couldn't help but change their expressions in the face of such fierce and overwhelming power. However, the difference between them and ordinary people was that while an ordinary person might have collapsed in such a situation, these seasoned warriors firmly gripped their weapons, and the battle blood within them boiled in response to the enemy's ferocity. Those 3 demon god pillars belonged to the 52nd demon god, and Loxi the flame lion, the 61st demon god, Saigong the winged bull, and the 70th demon god, Ser the blue demon knight, previously. These 3 demon gods had attempted to intercept the radiant angel knights, and Long Haochen had recognized their presence right away. Truly worthy of being demon gods. Their aura alone could stir up the tens of thousands of demon soldiers to such an extent. That was Long Haochen's impression, but on the city wall, Saint Yu's expression changed. Oh no. Could it be? Is he here? At the very moment Saint Yu's face changed, behind those 3 shining demon god pillars, suddenly, a jet black light burst forth. That jet black light was incredibly massive, with a diameter of tens of miles. When it appeared, the once bright sky instantly turned dark. With the rise of that colossal black light, the sun seemed to have been struck down and vanished without a trace. The tens of thousands of demon soldiers who had just roared were now like someone had choked their necks, and all sound ceased. In this moment of motionlessness, an eerie atmosphere permeated the air. Although the demon army had stopped roaring, their eyes had all turned blood red, from the weakest dual-blade demon to the mightiest black dragon, exuding a terrifying aura. They seemed to have entered a state similar to bloodlust under the influence of that massive black light. In front of this enormous jet black light, the demon god pillars raised by Enloxi, Saigong, and Ser looked like insignificant wisp of smoke, and the 3 demon gods all knelt respectfully on one knee, facing their bodies towards the massive black light behind them. What is this? It was too shocking. Everything happened too suddenly and was too terrifying. Long Haochen had witnessed the most magnificent scene when his father and the alliance master of the Temple Union, Yang Haohen, released their respective god seals thrones. However, compared to the horrifying jet black light pillar before his eyes, they were clearly far, far inferior. The jet black light pillar quickly completed its process of connecting heaven and earth. Everything around it was shrouded in darkness, and only the jet black radiance it emitted brought a trace of light to this world. Therefore, the changes on the jet black light pillar became even more evident. It was truly massive, and even from a great distance, its appearance could be clearly discerned. The entire body of the colossal light pillar was in a jet black color, engraved with countless bizarre runes. Most importantly, on this immense light pillar, there was actually a crouching dragon statue, completely coated in jet black. No one could fathom how colossal the dragon's body was. Its terrifying pressure even caused the air to collapse and distort the sky. What kind of existence is this? Suddenly, arcs of azure lightning began to appear around the jet black light pillar. These lightning flashes continued to flicker, causing the statue of the crouching dragon on the light pillar to start moving slightly, even more strangely. The hundreds of thousands of demon soldiers all seemed to be immersed in a twisted pattern of light and then vanished from the human army's sight. Or rather, they seemed to have turned invisible. At this moment, Saint Yu's face had lost all color. Just by his aura, he could make the entire demon army group vanish from sight, along with that gigantic jet black light pillar. This all proved one thing, something he least wanted to see. It's him, truly him. The number one ranked among the 72 demon god pillars, the demon god emperor, the heaven-defying demon dragon emperor, Feng Xiu. He actually personally came here. Hearing Saint Yu's words, the generals on the city wall were all shocked, and Saint Lingxian's body trembled. Although he clenched his teeth, all his fingernails were buried in his palms. The first demon god, the demon god emperor, the heaven-defying demon dragon emperor. This title always belonged to one demon clan member, one who ruled the 72 demon god pillars and commanded all the demon armies, a mighty existence. On the holy demon continent, humans had always been at a disadvantage, mainly because of his existence. He represented invincibility, the unmatched, and the supreme of the demon clan. He was Feng Xiu. His name might sound delicate, but he was incomparably powerful, standing at the pinnacle of the demon clan's pyramid as the 6th generation demon god emperor. It was said that when the 1st generation demon god emperor led the 72 demon god pillars to descend upon the holy demon continent, he didn't have this name. After destroying countless humans, he unexpectedly gave himself such a human name. Subsequent generations of demon god emperors all continued to use this name until today. From the 1st generation demon god emperor to the present, the current one was the 6th generation demon god emperor of the demon clan. As the highest leader of the demon clan, his lifespan was over 1,000 years. In human history, besides the one who died from heavy injuries by the reincarnation child, all the other 5 demon god emperors lived to the end of their lifespan before passing the title to their successors. Even the demon god emperor who died from the injuries inflicted by the reincarnation child did so because of old age, having passed the peak of his life. The 3 words demon god emperor represented invincibility on the holy demon continent. He was the ruler of the demon clan and the totem of the entire demon clan. As long as he existed, humans wouldn't dare to lightly launch a counterattack. The current 6th generation demon god emperor was now over 700 years old and was currently at the peak of his strength. Who could have thought that he would suddenly appear at the front of the demon driving barrier without any warning? No wonder the demon clan would display such a massive formation. No wonder the demon army would be so unified. The reason was only one: their magnificent emperor had arrived. Humans of the demon driving barrier, listen. Surrender all 3-headed demonic beasts in your city, or not a single blade of grass will be left. The voice in the air was soft and melodious, akin to the elegant howl of a dragon. Just as the jet black light pillar, a figure slowly emerged. His movements were unhurried, and his speed was steady, stepping forward as if walking on the ground. This person's figure didn't appear particularly tall, just about 1.9 meters. His black hair cascaded like a waterfall, forming a black circular pattern behind him. The black and resplendent robe draped down, emitting faint purple light patterns. His skin seemed somewhat pale, and his pair of blue pupils seemed to reflect the starlight in the universe. With each step, there was no surge of aura, and everything around remained silent. However, the demon driving barrier seemed to have been struck by a falling meteorite. No one could muster the desire to fight anymore. That pressure came from within everyone, as the presence of the demon god emperor made all their inner fears surge to the surface. He was truly too powerful to the extent that no one could summon the will to resist. Even the 9th rank expert, Saint Yu, was no exception. Beside Long Haochen, Kai's body trembled violently, and the faint killing intent revolved around her. Long Haochen was greatly surprised, and he immediately understood the reason. The aura of the demon god emperor had triggered the reincarnation sword inside Kai's body. If the demon emperor discovers the existence of the samsara sword, how can Kai face his strength? Even though fear fills her heart, at this moment, Long Haochen can't afford to consider much else. He immediately pulls Kai into his embrace, holding her tightly and releasing his inner spirit power to envelop her body, trying to calm the restlessness of the samsara sword within her. Strangely enough, Long Haochen's fear seems much lighter than that of others. Watching the demon emperor step forward in the air, his fear is replaced with curiosity. While his companions struggle to remain standing, he can embrace Kai and help her withstand the agitation of the samsara sword. The face of the demon emperor, Feng Xiu, is incredibly handsome, flawless without a trace of imperfection. But his handsome appearance is different from Long Haochen's. This demon emperor's handsomeness is accompanied by supreme arrogance, a sinister and eerie aura, and unquestionable majesty. Are you the current lord of the assassin temple? Feng Xiu's voice is still as pleasant to the ear as a dragon's chant, without any trace of smoke or fire. Yes. I am Saint Moon. Saint Moon steps forward, and the next moment, he is already in the void. Although fear fills his heart too, he is the only one who can stand up to the demon emperor at this moment. Behind the demon emperor, a terrifying pillar of light with a diameter of 10 miles shines, and a huge black dragon statue stands behind him. As you heard, I am in no hurry to destroy you humans. You are just livestock raised by me. Follow my orders. If you find what I am looking for, I might consider sparing your demon driving pass. The demon emperor's face carries a slightly sinister smile, the situation is tense, and countless eyes on the city wall are focused on Longhauchen, a three-headed demonic beast? Could it be referring to Longhauchen's demonic beast mount? But that's just a level 6 demonic beast. How could it attract the attention of the demon emperor? The demon emperor's face shows a trace of an eerie smile. I'll give you 10 seconds. After which you must give me a response. Otherwise, today, I will crush your demon driving pass. 10. Sweat drips down from Saint Moon's forehead. He knows that if he compromises, he will never be able to hold his head high in the assassin temple again. But if he doesn't compromise, the fate of the tens of thousands of people in Demon Driving Pass and the foundation of the assassin temple might be destroyed. It's an incredibly difficult decision. And the intense aura released from Saint Moon is fluctuating unstably. 9. Suddenly, a light laughter rings out. Your Majesty seems to be quite relaxed. However, if you really want to destroy our Demon Driving Pass, I'm afraid you'll have to think twice about it. The sudden voice sounds somewhat elderly, but it carries a relaxed tone. The next moment, 6 rays of light unexpectedly erupt without warning in front of the Demon Driving Pass. Among the 6 rays of light, 2 are golden, 1 is blue-purple, 1 is milky white, 1 is green, and 1 is red. As these 6 rays of light soar into the sky, they might not be as terrifying as the Demon Emperor's demon pillar, but the overwhelming mental pressure facing the city wall vanishes instantly. Everyone on the city wall is gasping for breath. At some unknown time, 6 figures appear below the Demon Driving Pass. Right now, these 6 individuals, surrounded by their respective rays of light, are slowly ascending into the air, facing the Demon Emperor from a distance. Seeing their appearance, the Demon Emperor's numerical game is interrupted, and his face turns gloomy.